When I first started baking bread, everyone told me I needed to purchase a Danish dough whisk, but nobody ever told me how to use one, and I struggled to find any information online. So I wanted to share with you the method I use to make sourdough bread using a Danish dough whisk to avoid getting your hands completely sticky in the early stages before it's time to knead. The first thing you'll do is combine your sourdough starter and water lightly, then add the flour and go in and mix. You'll notice I'm using very small circles and rotating the bowl to keep a good angle. So just keep using teeny tiny circles going around and around and around the bowl as you incorporate the flour into your mixture. If you try to use gigantic strokes or go in like you're using a wooden spoon, you are going to have a lot of trouble mixing that flour in. As your dough develops, you're going to start to struggle with the tiny circles, and at this point you'll transition to larger strokes, scraping around the sides of the bowl at each time and cutting in. At this point, the dough whisk is no longer feeling productive, so we're going to switch to a bowl scraper. At each turn, I'm going to scrape the sides of my bowl and press them in the middle of the dough, turning the bowl as we go. So you'll go around the bowl, scrape, grab dough from the bottom, and push it into the middle. The technique is very similar to a stretch and fold. When you feel like you've worked the dough sufficiently and all of your flour is incorporated, we'll stop there. Rest your dough at least 30 minutes before coming in and beginning your stretch and folds. You can find a link to this dough whisk, as well as other tools I love for baking sourdough in the link at my bio under recommended tools.